Alright, listen up. No sugarcoating here, so pay close attention. If you're the kind of guy who wakes up and instantly grabs his phone, spends the next few hours glued to it, then finally eats something just because you're hungry only to get lazy, take a nap, and then wake up to start the same pathetic cycle of scrolling again, then this is for you. You waste your day over some attention, seeking girl showing off her body, and you can't even stop yourself. Pathetic. This video is not some feel-good, weak advice on self-improvement. I'm not here to play nice or give you soft motivation. I'm a guy who's been through this crap every single day. But the difference is, I've cracked the code on how to handle it. So watch till the end, because this is going to solve 99% of your damn problems. First things first, have you noticed how, when you can't control your urges, you run straight to masturbation like a weakling, and afterward you sit there feeling like trash, knowing you've screwed up yet again? Same thing when you dodge your responsibilities. The day ends, and what have you got to show for it? Nothing. Just the same old regret. In all these cases, there's a common factor: you feel like shit afterward. That's your body telling you something. That pain you feel? It's a damn warning alarm. It's telling you that you're living like a loser. But instead of facing it, what do? You rush to drown it with some cheap pleasure. You think if you're hurting, you just need a quick hit of pleasure to make it stop. Well, guess what? You're not solving the problem. You're slapping a band-aid on it. As soon as that little high wears off, the pain hits even harder. Because it never left. You just hid it under a thin layer of pleasure like a coward. Let me make this clear with a real-life example. You only jerk off when you've got nothing better to do. When your life's dull and there's no excitement. You're already sad. And in that moment, your body controls you like a puppet, flooding your mind with trash thoughts. You convince yourself that maybe doing it will make the sadness go away. But it never does. The sadness slaps you right back in the face after it's over. So instead of dealing with your misery like a man, you're using pleasure as a cheap escape. Listen carefully, addiction isn't just about booze or smokes. That's a lie you've been fed. Anything that you use to run away from reality is an addiction. Instagram, masturbation, constantly texting your girlfriend, stuffing your face with food, or sleeping all day, all of these are just as pathetic as any other addiction. You've seen people who eat too much, sleep too much, or live on their phones. They're addicts. Now, you might ask, so what? If it makes them happy, why not let them be? Here's the truth: their so-called happiness is nothing but a flimsy cover over their pain. Sooner or later, that cover gets ripped off, and the pain comes roaring back. Our natural state is awareness, and no matter how long you hide from it, you'll be forced to wake up. When you do, the pain will hit you even harder because it never left. Still think this pleasure you're chasing is good enough? You're just fooling yourself. You're hurting, you're suffering. But instead of standing up and facing it like a man, you keep diving headfirst into addiction. That's why the pain never goes away. If you're smart enough to get that, let's move on to the solution. Point number 2, we've already figured out that staying hooked on addiction only gives you temporary relief. And when the high fades, the pain's back in your face. Then you repeat the same crap, chasing more pleasure. It's a cycle: pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure. You're running like a scared little boy. You want to break free from this? First thing, stop being afraid of pain. Once you stop fearing the pain, you'll stop chasing the quick fix pleasure. That's your problem. You run from pain, thinking pleasure will solve it. No more. Here's how it works. Imagine you're a pressure cooker, building up steam inside. What do? You release the pressure with the whistle, and because of that, the food inside doesn't cook properly. You're the pressure cooker, and that pressure inside you is your pain. Releasing the pressure? That's your addiction. Step 1, stop letting out the pressure. Get rid of the damn addictions. Porn? Cut it. Masturbation? Out. Games? Gone. Girlfriend? Keep her out of this too. And yes, some of you are so weak you're addicted to your girlfriend, spending hours talking and fantasizing about where you'll take her or what you'll do with her. Cut that shit too. When you stop all of this, then the real game begins. Point number 3. I get tons of calls from guys whining about how they can't get anything done, how no motivation works for them. They lie around like dead weights all day, and by nightfall, they're contemplating life and death. To all of you, let me spell this out: when you hit rock bottom, you won't need motivation. But here's the problem: every time you get desperate enough, you kill that fire by running back to your comfort zone. When you finally ditch your addictions, your inner pain will rise. And trust me, it'll feel unbearable. You'll feel restless, maybe even cry. And every minute will feel like an eternity. But here's the thing, this restlessness, it's going to turn into a fire. That fire will give you the strength to flip your entire life. Slowly, you'll come to the realization that you can't keep living like this anymore. You might not know where the hell you're going, but one thing will be clear: where you are now is not where you belong. Let me break it down again with an example. You're trapped in a burning room. There's a bottle of alcohol sitting there. Now, you've got two options. Option 1, drink the damn bottle, pass out, and wait for the fire to kill you. Sure, there'll be pain, but at least you won't have to do the hard work of escaping. The fire will do the job. Option 2, smash the bottle. Now, you can't pass out, and the heat from the fire will force you to find a way out. In that moment, your only thought will be that it's better to die fighting to escape than to sit there and burn like a coward. That's the mindset you need. If you understand this example, then you're ready to start a revolution in your life. Point number 4. If you still haven't realized that the pleasure you're chasing is just another addiction, then everything I've said is going to be useless to you. Let me make it crystal clear: there are two types of pleasure. The first type is easy, the kind every weak guy your age is hooked on: eating, sleeping, scrolling reels, jerking off, watching porn. These require zero effort. The second type of pleasure demands something from you. It's the kind that comes from earning money, owning a house, gaining respect and status. These things take real work to achieve. Now, this is where things get serious. After wasting time on the small pleasures, you realize they don't fix the pain inside you. But here's the kicker: most of you haven't even tasted the bigger pleasures yet. You think that once you achieve those, your pain will magically disappear. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know that even after getting those big pleasures, the pain won't go away? I know, because I've watched myself closely. Back when I was in 10th grade, I was desperate to get a phone. I thought it would change my life. And guess what? After a month of having it, it turned into just another piece of junk. When a new car came into our house, it felt like a big deal, like we had arrived. But give it another month, and it was nothing more than a machine gathering dust. Same thing happened with my bike. At first, I treated it like it was the best thing ever. Now I don't even care if it's sitting in the garage collecting rust. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying these things aren't important, or that you shouldn't have them. But if you think getting these things will take away that nagging pain inside you, then you're delusional. You're just swapping one addiction for another. And like every addiction, the high will fade, and you'll be right back where you started, stuck with the same damn pain. Whether it's small pleasures or big ones, neither will fix the mess inside you, because you've never faced that pain head on. You're just layering it over with temporary distractions. So burn this into your brain: there are 3 kinds of people in this world. First, there are the losers who drown in small pleasures and suffer quietly in their misery. These are the tamasic types. Second, there are those who, after realizing the small pleasures don't fix anything, start chasing the big ones, thinking that'll solve everything. We call these rajasic people. Third, there are the ones who finally wake the hell up and realize that no amount of pleasure, big or small, will bring them happiness. These guys are the sattvic. They stop chasing pleasure altogether and instead start looking inside to deal with the real problem, the pain that's been there all along. Now, what do? We've already figured out that nothing from the outside will ever fix the pain inside us. So we turn inward. We figure out where we're stuck, what's holding us back, and then we tear it down. We revolt against our own limitations. And let me make this clear: it's not because we're passionate about it or excited to do it. In my previous video, I told you how we're programmed. Every decision you make is either influenced by your body, by society, or by your circumstances. So tell me, how the hell can any of your decisions be truly independent? This isn't about passion. It's not about hobbies, or fun, or doing what makes you feel good. This is about whether or not you're freeing yourself from the prison of pain. I'm constantly evolving, constantly shedding my old self, because staying the same is a recipe for misery. If you're really getting what I'm saying, you'll understand why Bhgat Singh climbed the gallows at 22 without flinching, why our ancestors chose death over slavery, and why Lord Krishna told Arjuna to fight, win or lose. or else he'd be cursed to live a life of regret and sorrow. We have to fight too. Not because we want to win something, but because we can't keep living like this. We don't know exactly where we're going, but we sure as hell know it's not where we are now. But here's where most people screw up. As long as that pain inside you keeps burning, you'll keep moving forward. But someone or something will always come along to try and snuff that flame out. The addictions I've been talking about, they're the water that puts out that fire inside you. You get a little uncomfortable, a little desperate, and instead of embracing that fire, you drown it with distractions. You dive back into pleasure. But here's the truth: if you stop putting out that fire, if you let it burn, something amazing happens. You start getting stronger. This is where the real battle begins. There will always be something, or someone, trying to numb that pain. Someone will say, "Take it easy, man. Why push yourself so hard?" Or, "Just turn on some entertainment, you'll feel better," or "Go hang out with your friends and unwind." And if you listen to any of that nonsense, you're done for. No one will be able to save you. That's why what I'm about to tell you next is crucial. Point number 5. Do you really think that following everything I've said is going to magically fix your life and solve all your problems? Get real, bro. It's not that simple. No hero becomes a legend without a villain stronger than him. If you're thinking of yourself as the hero in your story, then you better realize this: the villain in your life is 10 times stronger than you. Why is Spider-Man the most popular superhero? Because his life is a mess, filled with problems bigger than he can handle. And his enemies, they're way more powerful than he is. But here's the thing: Spider-Man knows that his enemies are stronger, but he fights anyway. Why? Because sitting down and giving up isn't an option. He knows that if he doesn't fight, the pain will crush him. So he fights with everything he's got, and somehow, through sheer grit, he wins. That's when both he and we realize we're way bigger and stronger than we ever thought. That's the hero we all admire. But now let's look at your life. I already told you who your villain is in point number 1, it's addiction. But let's give it a new name: Maya. Maya and addiction are the same damn thing. Both trick you into thinking that what you're chasing is real, that once you get it, everything will finally fall into place. But when the veil of Maya lifts, you realize it was all a lie. Let's break it down with another example. Imagine you're the kind of guy who's trying to bury the misery of his pathetic life by drowning in a world that feels good on the surface but is utterly empty inside, devoid of any real joy, any real dopamine. Here's what you need to do: stop indulging in those addictions. The second you do, all that pain you've been dodging will crash down on you like a ton of bricks. You'll feel overwhelmed, like it's too much to handle. But if you stay strong, if you take that pain head on, you'll start to free yourself. And yes, it's going to hurt. But as you push forward, that villain inside you, the beast, the Maya, it's going to start whispering in your ear. It'll say, "What are you doing? Why not just do what feels good? Who's stopping you? Why put yourself through this hell? What if nothing comes from it?" That's when your mind will start playing tricks on you. Those old distractions will try to pull you back into the same pathetic cycle. But you need to stand firm and answer Maya with the truth. Yeah, I'm suffering. And yeah, the pain is brutal. But you know what? I'd rather suffer and grow than stay stuck in that miserable place. Your tricks don't work on me anymore. I finally realized this: when I'm in pain, it doesn't mean I need pleasure. It means I need freedom from that pain. This is the answer you need to give to Maya. And every single time you stand up and give this answer, Maya loses. Today, take a vow that you will stop chasing fake pleasures. If you have to endure pain, endure the kind of pain that will actually lead you to freedom. Every morning, when your alarm goes off, your mind should scream at you, "If I don't get up today, I'll stay stuck in this hellhole I don't want to be in." So, get up and spend the entire day doing the things that will actually improve your life, things that make you stronger, sharper, and better. But let me make this clear one last time: even if, after all this clarity, you still can't take action, that's okay. Just promise me one thing: don't go back to your addictions. Because when you avoid working, the hero inside you will ask, "What the hell are you doing with your life?" And that's when the beast inside you will try to silence that voice by pushing you back into your old habits. If you give in, you'll be right back where you started, living the same miserable cycle you've always known. The pain you're feeling? It's there because your mind and body are tied up in chains. If you stay in addiction instead of breaking free, you're done. Cry if you need to. Feel restless if you need to. But no matter what you do, don't go back to the chains of addiction. That's it for now. In this video, I've handed you the solutions to the problems that have been holding you back from changing your life. Until next time, go out, make mistakes, learn, and start paving your own way.